The yarder works by pulling in logs with a large diameter mainline cable. The chokers dangle from the very end of it on links of chain. There's a second cable and drum called the haulback, and it does just that. It hauls the main line back out. It hooks to the other end of the chain after passing through a pulley at the end out in the woods. As the operator goes ahead on the haulback, he rides his foot on the brake of the mainline drum, keeping it tight and the whole loop up in the air. The rider block is the pulley connecting the two, and it provides lift. The harder he steps on the mainline brake, the tighter the loop and the higher the cable is off the ground. When the operator gets the signal to stop, he puts his feet on the brake pedals of both cable drums. Two and one means slack the mainline and the haulback together. The operator is slipping the brakes on both drums, which brings the chokers into the position that the rigging slinger calls for. High-lead logging has been done like this for almost 150 years, but in the old days, a tree was located in a good spot for a landing and then topped over 100 feet up by a man with an axe and crosscut saw. This was the most prestigious job in the woods, and the high climbers were the most highly paid. The spar tree was then rigged with all the necessary guy lines and blocks, and attached to them were the cables of the mighty steam donkey. These engines were mounted on large log sleds, and the men who operated them were hard-working and full of ingenuity. The tremendous horsepower that these yarders produced was enough to drag themselves through the woods from one job to the next. They'd cross rivers, climb mountains, and pull in huge logs, running on just firewood and water, both in ample supply here in the Pacific Northwest. Steam-powered donkeys were the machine in demand for large logging jobs from the late 1880s well into the 1950s. Steel cables were introduced in the mid-90s, giving the donkey a pulling range of 1,500 feet, along with the strength it needed to move just about anything. Being a logger in those days was an extremely hard way to make a living. The pay was very good, but the physical work and remote locations that came with it made sure that only a certain type of man would be doing it. Camps of 200 men or more were not uncommon. During the long periods of time at camp, they had to invent their own kind of fun. This work was by far the most dangerous of the time. Logs could roll and crush men, cables snapped, the boilers of donkey engines exploded, but they'd go back out into the woods day after day, proud of how tough they had to be to work like this. Lumberjacks were known for their fist fights, hard drinking, short tempers, gambling. Sometimes an entire month's wages were blown on a single trip into town. Take a close look at any one of these men and you'll see how physically fit he is. Tough as nails. Here in Washington, you don't have to look hard to find telltale signs of an old road grade, large old-growth stumps, even abandoned equipment from days gone by. Things have changed a lot in the way logging is done today. The chaser, whose job is to unhook the logs here on the landing, used to carry a chainsaw and tape measure with him so that he could limb and buck or cut the logs to length. Now the processor does that part of the job for him. It automatically measures the logs with a computer that counts the revolutions of the wheels that are moving the log through it, shearing limbs and knots off as it goes. The logs are much smaller now, and so are the chokers, but they're still dangerous in the way they swing around sometimes.
Yeah, I've been in rigging for 13, 14 years, been cutting timber for 8, and kind of deaf to the whistles and all the machines going on.
It's really loud right here.
Yeah, and I just recently blew my knee out. Now I'm chasing. I can't go down and set chokers no more.
That's why you're up here, huh?
Yeah, I get to run the yarder here pretty soon. I'm getting too old to go down there and do that anymore.
How old are you?
I'm 37.
Oh, that's pretty old. What'd you do to your knee?
I twisted it out there. I was setting chokers and I went one way and my knee went the other. Kind of blew it out. So I was off for 3 months. I might be only 37, but I've been in the brush for a long time and it beats you up pretty bad. It's a rough job. You're constantly falling down.
These men are very much athletes, even though they may not look like it. Their cork boots, like cleats, give them traction to scramble over logs. Their baggy, heavy denim pants are cut off short to save weight, especially in the wet weather. And the work can be like training for a competition, 8 hours a day. It's a constant battle out here. Sharp underbrush ripping at clothing and skin. Logs that could easily crush them move unpredictably. The cables, with their many tons of weight, can sometimes be unpredictable as well. Just another close call. The weight of that main line could have easily rolled a log this choker setter was working by, but he takes it in stride. This sort of thing happens a lot, day in and day out. His heart pumps a little faster, and he jokes that he could use a cigarette, but soon he'll have forgotten what could have been. It's just another day, another close one. He'll be a little more careful. Instead of saving time, he'll wait until everything comes to a full stop. Maybe. He just gets out of the way, because these logs are going to the landing.
That's a pretty one.